All right, The Promotion, a movie I don't even remember anything about because I saw it months ago.
That's not surprising. It's like trying to think back to like a day at your job 6 months ago, and you're like, "Wow, what happened that day? Nothing remarkable." Okay, because that's pretty much The Promotion.
Yeah, this is an incredibly mediocre film starring Stifler and Dewey Cox as two guys who work at the local supermarket and are vying for that big management position at a new store that's opening. Now, if you've ever worked retail in your life, you know this story, and it bored you when you were involved with it. This is a movie about the minutia and bullshit of life and about two guys who you don't give a shit about stabbing each other in the back every chance they get so they can get a fucking manager position.
There's two ways this could have worked. You could have gone the way of really, really dark drama where things actually take a turn for the horrific, or you could have gone to where things escalate to sort of like super wacky, unrealistic comedy. They did neither and wanted to say, let's look at this like a real life situation. And honestly, do you know anyone who wants to see a movie just like real life about two guys who are kind of annoying losers vying for the same job at a supermarket?
I don't know. When I was 16, I delivered fajitas. I think that'd make a great movie. It was hilarious when I did it.
Yeah, but these guys don't get to have lots of tail every time they make a
Man,
stop.
I'm sitting up here like half exhausted. I'm trying to remember. I'm saying to myself, what the fuck was this movie about? I don't even remember.
Dane Cook in this movie?
Yeah, right. It's Employee of the Month, except not as funny.
I'm gonna try and see. I'm gonna see if I can remember.
See, and the thing is, there's a sad truth to that because Employee of the Month had a few sparse moments of comedy in there.
Well, this movie, I'm
did
sitting there
not.
trying to remember. You're right. It's two guys. You have Sean William Scott, who is
Stifler.
Yes,
Yeah.
this,
You know what? I
keep
just
saying
want to break
Stifler.
in because I think it's funny that like years from now, Sean William Scott could win a Lifetime Achievement Award, and there'll still be some guy in the audience going, "Way to go, Stifler!"
Yeah, and they'll be like, shit.
Well, it's kind of like Jason Biggs is still the pie fucker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those guys will never get away from that. But there's two guys vying for a promotion at a supermarket, like you said.
Yeah,
and
John C. Reilly and Sean William Scott.
yeah, and they're both married guys. They're both nice people. One of them came from Canada, and he
Yeah.
really needs his job, and the other guy is trying to get a home. Sean William Scott.
They both really need the promotion.
Yeah, and so it's like you said, you think it's going to go to some point where wackiness, where they're going to start trying to outdo each other, but it doesn't exactly do that.
There are attempts for jokes that at points that look like they could have worked. Like there's a big build up towards a joke that ends up with John C. Reilly getting tap shoes and a fight in the parking lot. And you can hear the stirrings of music starting to swell as they're fighting and the taps are hitting the ground as if this is about to turn into kind of thing that looks like they're dancing.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of blows it off, the director. He's like, well, I'm not really sure I want to tell that joke after all.
I don't want to get that crazy. You know what? You hit it right here. And this movie's coming to me more and more because I remember watching it. It's the kind of movie where they are sitting on the borderline of being something of a studio film. And for this movie, we said it all reminded us of Office Space. But because it's a smaller movie, they never push it that far because it almost seems like, well, we want to have a little dignity here and we want to be somewhat of an indie film that is not that crazy or wacky.
I don't know if I want to say it reminded us of Office Space. It was trying to ape Office Space, but it never ever gets anywhere near
Well,
what
when you
Office
look at the
Space
movie,
is.
you think this could be Office Space,
It's
right?
the mumblecore crowd making Office Space, essentially. It's like, let's do Office Space, except, only as funny as real life tends to be, which isn't really, and just like, a normal day.
So the movie comes out being a little more odd than it does being
But not even
being
quirky, really. It's not even quirky odd. It's just like...
Shit, I don't know nothing about this.
It's watching this movie is like having a crappy day at work.
Yes,
where you
that's
just kind
exactly
of
it.
slough out of it going, oh man, I need a beer and a blowjob.
And you're frustrated by the ignorance of the characters, just the dumb things that they do that aren't funny. And you're like, why would you behave that way? Why don't you just do this? I mean, you find yourself constantly through the movie going, hey, dumbass, how did you even get an assistant manager job in the first place? You're too stupid to do that. You should be bagging.
Yeah, the movie's kind of aimless. I mean, it does. Right
There's
when
like 12 jokes right there.
I know, yeah.
But it seems like they're trying to actually. There's this rivalry that they never build up because they always put these little subplots in of John C. Reilly having trouble with his wife, and then this other guy trying to buy a house, and then they throw in some other odd things like that scene with the tap shoes, and I don't know, man. You know what? Fuck this movie.
You don't even remember this. You keep trying to. I love this. I'm watching you like you're trying to remember, like you're trying to start your car on in a sub-zero morning. It's just like, brr, 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 and then you almost think you got it. Then you're just like, fuck it, I'm not going anywhere.
Because I was when I watched the movie, I got a few laughs. I remember walking out, and I even remember when I was walking out, I was like, I'm not gonna remember that shit.
No, I politely chuckled a few times. I remember one scene that was
the
clearly,
director behind you or something?
No, there was only 3 people in the audience when I saw it, all critics. And there was one scene I remember going, okay, I guess that's kind of funny, I guess. And I went, and there's silence, and I hear somebody just go, and it was kind of embarrassing to me that I even gave a little chuckle.
Yeah, they're looking at you like you're the dumbass. What? This dude finds this funny? Now, I'll say this. It might not be fair, but from what I gathered, I didn't walk out hating the movie. I remember thinking, I could have watched this at home on HBO and not been upset. So I would probably say a rental.
Yeah, it's a low rental only because I actually think Sean William Scott and John C. Reilly are as good as they can be in this. In fact, I think a different director might have done something interesting with the script, which probably looked good on paper. But overall, this is not something to really waste your time with unless you're really wide awake and have nothing better to do on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, no, this is the epitome of the rental. This is that movie. If you're a big Sean William Scott fan or you're a John C. Reilly fan and you feel like, man, I just need to see their entire filmography, you aren't going to hate this. It's not terrible.
It's like
but it ain't really very good.
It's like Pushing Tin was for
exactly.
That John Cusack movie?
And
I like
yeah.
it. It was pushing tin without the guys being blown off of the tarmac.
Right,
that
right.
was actually
That was the one good scene.
You also get a topless scene with Angelina Jolie in that movie, so don't put it down completely.
Oh,
Well,
wait a minute.
fair
There's
enough.
a topless scene with Angelina Jolie in that
Yeah,
movie?
pushing.
Oh
tin.
yeah, it was called the 90s.
Yeah, I was going to say, there was a point there wasn't an Angelina Jolie without a topless scene in it.
Yeah, it's like, don't forget about me. I have tits. And then it's like, oh, I'm famous. I don't need to show them anymore. But at this point, who wants to see them?
Yeah.
I still do. All right. So that's
Well,
it.
you'll want to see them when she's 67.
You've got a Betty White fold out above your bed.
I thought seeing it in Beowulf where they were all CG'd up.
You laugh, but Betty White was really hot in 1945.
Yeah, but
I've
it's
seen
from
that
1997.
Shit, Betty White is hot in 2008 for me. I'm gone.